everyone, and welcome back to Void Dwarf Studios, where we find out what's been happening in Age of Sigmar. And I'm going to give you the rundown on the story so far. Now, I'm not going to go into every individual faction. This is just going to be the main plot points of the Broken Realms series that Games Workshop have released. It's now concluded, so I can tell you more or less what's happened from beginning to end, and what the new edition of Age of Sigmar is probably going to be about. And if you haven't checked out the Broken Realms series, I thoroughly recommend you do, even if it's just the free little books that you could get from Games Workshop's newsletter. I don't know if you can get them anymore, but they were a great read and fun to look into. So, starting from the very top, last time we talked about the Age of Sigmar lore, we were entering into the Soul War, where Nagash had created his Nighthaunt army and was basically charging across all the realms, causing a hell of a lot of mischief, and genuinely putting all the different factions in a very tight spot. Even Chaos at a couple points had to really rally to deal with Nagash's new threat. And if that wasn't bad enough, the Ozarek Bone Reapers have been causing a lot of problems for the Mortal Realms themselves, being a highly elite, extremely disciplined army that didn't balk at anything and was superbly disciplined, and unlike most skeletons, were actually really skilled at fighting. Meaning Nagash was really becoming a serious problem for everyone. During all these distractions and the battles for the 8 points, the interconnecting gateways between the different realms, Morathi managed to use this distraction to allow herself to ascend to godhood, as I'd always predicted she was going to try and do, because, well, really, Morathi has always wanted to be worshipped by everyone, and now she is, as the literal goddess of murder. And she's managed to convince an awful lot of the Deepkin to her side in the belief that she will give them souls, essentially allowing them to actually be a functioning race again and not rely on stealing souls from everyone else. Whether she'll actually fulfill this promise is doubtful, let me just put it that way. This all takes place in the first of the Broken Realm books, which I have and I thoroughly recommend you read. It's a fun story, even if you don't have the armies that are included in this. The story itself is well worth the read. Next, we move on to Teclas, where he has basically gotten fed up to the back teeth of Nagash stomping around all of the realms and causing undead to run amok everywhere, and he feels it's about time that the god of magic told the Lord of Undeath to put a sock in it. Despite several pleas from Alariel essentially asking if this really is the best use of his might, Teclas decides it's well worth it, as he invaded the sanctity of the realm of Hysh. And something that really amuses me is that during this particular invasion of Hysh, Arkan the Black is leading it, and guess who gets to have a new rematch with him? And promptly manages to deck him in the snoz. I'm pretty sure Arkan the Black isn't dead, but he's not coming back for a little while at least. And after that very rude invasion of the Realm of Light, he wasn't going to give Nagash an opportunity to try it a second time. With a fairly sizable contingent of Lumineth forces, he enters the realm of Shyesh, and whilst the battle was extremely hard fought, he does eventually manage to put Nagash down. Of course, the Lord of Undeath isn't dead, because you can't perma-kill the really irritating son of a bitch, but he is relatively harmless. He is, he's in a weakened state. Think Sauron without his ring, you know? Still potent and dangerous, but not nearly going to be able to put as much of a fight up towards any of the other gods. And because of this put down of Nagash and the weakening of death magic, thanks to Alariel conducting a ritual of life, suppressing and pushing back the death magic that had seeped through into the different realms, the Nighthaunt, whilst not gone, a lot of their power has waned. Nagash's bid for power has failed, and he's going to have to try and think of something else for a later date. However, the ritual that was used to spill life into all the realms, with Alariel's hope being that it would replenish the realms from all the death magic that has happened, accidentally did something else, which we will get into in a minute. During all this kerfuffle, Be'lakor, the first Demon Prince of Chaos, has been planning a lot behind the scenes. and he decided it was about time he got the recognition he deserved, and not that upstart mortal Archaon. And so the first demon prince decided that he was going to make himself noticed by the Pantheon. And to do this, he managed to create, through an awful lot of planning, machinations, and convincing various factions to fight each other, a chaotic cloud. Essentially, there is a storm of chaos now hovering across all the mortal realms, and despite the various factions' attempts to try and stop this, they were unsuccessful, and Be'lakor's storm of chaos has begun, meaning that the Stormcast Eternals, who rely upon death to be able to make their way back to the realm of heaven, it's no longer a guarantee anymore. The storm of chaos is capable of siphoning these souls back to the chaos gods for consumption, shall we say. And that's bad news bears for the god King Sigmar, because he really needs his Stormcast to be able to make their journey back to the Anvil of Apotheosis, so they can be reforged. But all is not lost. Grugni, the dwarven god of crafting and smithing, is still on Sigmar's side, and though he's been wandering, feeling a bit sorry for himself and guilty for leaving the Caradons and other dwarven groups to their own devices, he has decided to assist and design a new form of armour that will allow the Stormcast to return relatively unhindered, relatively speaking at least. There's still a chance that the Chaos God is going to nab their soul on the way, but at least they have a better chance of piercing the Chaos Storm. And in addition to this, there are heavy implications in a number of White Dwarf magazines that he is trying to reunite the races together under one banner. But I will get into that beautiful little nugget another time. The last book is about our new, I would like to say, antagonist, Kraknos, the Lord of Earthquakes, the God of Destruction. He is a new player into the Age of Sigmar lore. He was imprisoned a long time ago by the Seraphon, and the massive explosion of life energy around the mortal realms released him from his prison in the realm of beasts, the realm of Gur. And when he awoke after being released from his prison, the first thing he noticed was his land had been completely transformed in the millennia he'd been trapped, although for him it only felt like a few hours. And to cap it off, some inconsiderate so-and-so has planted a big city on top of one of his favourite hills. And he was deciding he was going to have none of that, and promptly started gathering an army to do something about it, bashing anyone over the head that he thought he could conquer and make do his bidding. And he's managed to rally orcs, goblins, and the sons of Bahamut, the giants, as well as various ogre clans to his cause. And basically his objective is to reconquer the kingdom that was once his, the empires in ages long past, and to destroy anything that looks like civilization and beat the snot out of anyone stupid enough to get in his way. Kraknos is a very, very, very dangerous new threat to all the mortal realms. And it is only through the combined strength of Lord Croak, Morathi turning up miraculously and at just the right time, the Stormcast and the city's defenders, despite having to fight Slaaneshi cultists and Skaven, keeping the city of Excelsior that was under siege by Kraknos from completely becoming a desolate wasteland. Of course, the armies of destruction thoroughly mullered the place, so it's not really a functioning city anymore, but at least it's still hobbling, shall we say. And it is with the combined efforts of a pair of witch hunters managing to dispatch the new incarnations of Slaanesh, as well as Morathi and Lord Croak creating a magical trap to send him far, far away, that really prevented the city of Excelsior from being a complete wreck to just being a ruin. Yeah. And it's on this note that we open up into the new edition, Dominion, where the Stormcast Eternals are fighting against a new variant of Uruk that live in the swampy places of the realm of Gur, and who are seeking out Kraknos as they worship him as a god. So yeah, that's going to be bad news. And on top of all this, the human, dwarven and elven civilizations that aren't part of the main factions and are sort of mingled together in the cities of Sigmar have decided it's about time to expand. They have now managed to create crusades, Dawnbringer Crusades, who drag materials and resources with them out into the world and establish new strongholds, new places that the realms of order can actually fight back the darkness. This is absurdly dangerous, as I'm sure you can all imagine, and, well, best of luck to them. That's all I have to say. But it does mean that the Cities of Sigmar army will hopefully be getting a bit of love this coming edition. Maybe with some either new units or at the very least polishing up some old Warhammer Fantasy ones for this edition. And that is the very quick 10-minute roundup of the new Age of Sigmar story. I will go into it in more depth in the individual factions, but I figured just so everyone was up to date, this would be the best place to try this out and let you all know what's happening. Anywho, I hope to hear from you all soon. Thank you very much for subscribing. Please put a little comment down below and let me know what you think. And until next time, take care everyone.